Thank you for those that are on the meeting this evening. Minnesota USA Wrestling came up with this information series just to have a little bit more contact with our membership, and so that you know who we are and we know who you are, so that when we see you out and about at tournaments and such, we can be able to say hello and have a little know each other a little bit better. So anyway, this session is a Q&A about Folkstyle season. We do have a couple things that we would like to share prior to opening it up for questions. And so I'm going to pass the baton on to Mr. Matt Nass.
All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for joining. Most of this is going to be for conversation with our Folkstyle season. More of a reminder than anything. A few different changes have been made going into the season. So obviously the qualifying process remains the same with all of our different qualifiers around the state that we'll be having. Obviously your point totals, for getting first, second, third. For those, you got 40 points needed. You get for first place, 25 for second, 10 for third, and you need 30 points to move on to state
Regionals.
So, or to regionals. Thank you, Angie.
Sorry.
The one big change that we did make is at regionals this year, we'll be doing top 4 at each regional qualify for state. Last year we had some brackets that were short on kids. We want to be able to have, more opportunity there, having, 16 people at least in a bracket. So we figure if we get 20 to qualify and we end up with 20 in a bracket, awesome. But just as a opportunity to have more kids in those brackets. So no way, shape, form are we trying to get back to having 2,000 kids at state. We're trying to make a more enjoyable experience for everybody. And I think after last year's state tournament that was had, but we also realized we could probably fit some more kids into the tournament. So we are going to make that change this year. So we have our 5 regionals are also set up. We're going with Shakopee the first weekend, which is February 19th. The second weekend is February 26th. That'll be Brainerd and Blaine this year. The next weekend will be after the high school state tournament, which is March 11th and 12th. That'll be Forest Lake on Saturday and Cannon Falls last chance qualifier there on Sunday. So all that stuff has been updated on our website, on our calendar. If you want to check that out, definitely check that out. So so with state, we're going to be down at Mayo Civic Center again this year. Same setup as we had in the past between the auditorium and the exhibition hall. Right now we're still finalizing the schedule of what's going to be done. Hope to have that done soon and have that out to everybody. The dates are on the calendar for that also. If there's any questions, of course, reach out to one of us and feel free to get a hold of us and we can chat about that. For the Pee-wees and the Bantams, of course, you still need 30 points to qualify to go to state. You're not part of the regional process. You will, for the 10Us, 12Us, 14Us, have to go through regionals. 10Us and 12Us need to have the 30 points to qualify for regionals. Having the top 4 go. 14Us do not need the 30 points because we obviously understand that some of those wrestle in high school. So we don't require that. And then obviously we have the cadet age group there too. So we are still looking at putting a team together, tournament that Thursday of state for elementary and middle school. So if you have any interest in that, please reach out. Let us know. We'll get more information on that as we get closer. Looking at trying to make a few changes to that. So that's why we don't have that stuff out either currently. So.
Hey, Matt, there was a lot of positive feedback about that team tournament, wasn't there?
Yeah, if you guys get a chance to talk to any of the teams that were there last year, of course, every one of them said they're gonna be back this year, bringing a team again. It was a good time. Everybody had a, enjoyable experience with it. We hope we can get more teams into it, of course. So as we get going into the season, as people see this and start thinking about getting the team to come down there and compete at that, that'd be great. We'd love to have the middle school, session going. If we can get a minimum of 5-6 teams, even, that would be worth doing a round robin tournament for. Much less if we can get 16, that'd be phenomenal. So we know there's a lot of great wrestlers out there, and we just hope that that'll draw some of those kids and those clubs into the fold. So Angie, you got anything else that you'd like to go through?
Well, one of the big things, changes that we have made is the requirement for the photo on your membership card. And this was made because of the fact that we are moving towards the check-in process for weigh-ins at our regional and our state tournament. And, hopefully at some point we'll be using them at our weight audits, at our qualifiers as well. So the easiest way to do that is to utilize the membership card. There's a barcode on that, but we need to be able to make sure that who is on that membership card is actually who is standing in front of the scale. And so to do that, we need to have pictures on the membership cards. And so believe me, I know that it's a pain in the butt and it's a big change, but once we get it done and get it uploaded, it will just be something that we always have done and always will do. And so try to ride this wave of change with us and work with it. Ryan Fisher, our membership director, has put together a cheat sheet, so to speak, on how parents can do that and how club directors can do that in kind of a mass upload, right, Ryan?
Correct. Oh, excuse me. Matt and I bounced it back and forth a couple times, couple little changes to make, and I will be, either Matt or I will be sending it out.
Okay. Yeah, no, that will be great. And we'll get that on the website as well. Just know that it doesn't have to be done tomorrow. All the kids need at this point in time is their USA card number. So even as club directors, if you could just get those club numbers out to the families and to the kids, that would be sufficient enough to register for tournaments. And then work on getting them to upload those pictures before the regional tournaments in February. So, keep reminding them throughout the season as it goes along. And hopefully we can get everybody ready to go before February. That was one of the big things that I wanted to talk about that I've been hearing about a little bit. But it is something that's super important as we change and make this weigh-in process so much smoother. I know people love it that have gone through it this past. We did it at the North Star and at the state last year. And I have to say, at the North Star, I was in the weigh-in gymnasium, and like I had to look up 2 people's card numbers. Like everybody remembered their card. So, we've gotten through that change where people have to remember to bring their card. Now we just need to get those pictures uploaded. So change, little bit by little bit, and we'll get there. So we appreciate your support in getting that done. Matt, what happened down at the summit? We passed that headgear optional.
Correct. And if Tom's still on, maybe he can speak to that a little bit more with the couple of the rule changes that did happen for this year's Folkstyle tournament. Angie, really quick, one other thing too. So with the picture required, this year for all of our regional tournaments and state tournaments, you will be required to have your card with for coaches and wrestlers both, right? So that'll allow us to check in and make sure coaches have everything they need and they're all set, as well as, speed up the process of weigh-ins. And the people that were down at state tournament last year for Folkstyle, we had the one day where it went extremely late or long past our weigh-in time, and a lot of that was due to us asking the kids what their names were and some of them not knowing, honestly, and it's like
Stage fright.
or not be able to, not be able to hear them. So that this will alleviate all those issues. So, Tom, if you want to speak real quick about the rule change, that'd be awesome.
Just if you go to the MNUSA website and you go to coaches and officials rules, I updated a slideshow that it's designed for beginning people who may not understand the folk style rules, and it's pretty extensive. Takes you through it. You know you can watch it in a couple sessions, and it also has a link there to our weigh-in protocol and what's expected of kids at weigh-ins and how they should be dressed and stuff for that. The big change this year in USA Wrestling is that we don't require headgear anymore. We strongly recommend kids wear headgear, but it's not a requirement. Now, just remember that if you go to other tournaments that are not USA Wrestling sanctioned, you may be required to have headgear. There's a lot of different tournaments out there, a lot of different organizations that host tournaments, and many of them still require that you have headgear. But any USA sanctioned tournament, you are not required to wear headgear anymore. Strongly recommended for your young wrestler, but not required.
Thanks, Tom. Was there any other that people would be interested in knowing, or is that just the big one?
There hasn't been a lot of change. The confusion comes in the fact that all wrestlers should have a suitable undergarment, which means that you should wear a pair of underwear of some sort under your singlet or under your two-piece uniform. And also I get questions on bras for girls, and sports bras are required for any girl that is age appropriate, that has, developed to the fact that they do need to protect and cover the breast. Young girls that haven't developed yet, we're not going to look for a sports bra. But as you get older into that 12, 13, 14-year-old range, especially, coaches and parents should require that their girls wear some kind of a sports bra. Again, if you go to that website, the rules are pretty extensive, and it's, if anybody has any questions at all, my link is there. Please fire me off an email, and I'll be happy to respond to it.
Awesome. Also, you guys, I wanted to talk briefly about the guidebook. And it's for club leaders, but it goes through all of the qualification process. The guidebook is located on our website. It's on the main page, right underneath any of the newsreels that are going across. Their link is always going to be there with the latest updated version. So that is now updated with the change with the regionals and how many qualify. And I think that was the only big update this year, along with the picture requirement on the membership cards. But so you guys can always reference that if you have any questions on the main page of the website. All the calendars for any tournament are posted there underneath events. It'll say Folkstyle. The flyers are there. The links for regionals are there. Obviously, those are not open yet. But as the links for each tournament are in each flyer for each tournament. So you can always find them there if you're looking for how to register for the tournaments. If they are not open yet, just keep checking back every couple days. And once they are open, we will let you know on social media as well. If you guys don't have anything else, does anybody have any questions regarding our folk style season?
Corey or Tim, either one of you guys?
Okay.
Tim says no.
Well, we're all listed on the website as well. So when you're visiting that, you can look at that and reach out if you have any questions. about anything, be sure to like us on Facebook if you haven't already. We are also now on Twitter and Instagram, so find us there. And speaking of social media, we are looking for a communications coordinator. It is a paid position. If anybody knows anybody, the link is on Facebook right now and it's on the website. So share that with people that you know that would do a bang up job, because we'd love to talk to them.
I do just have one question.
Okay.
It's the beginning part. So we have to get all of our wrestlers to have their, like, a hard copy with a photo.
So when you print, usually like when I always printed off the cards for them at the beginning of the season. But if you just email their numbers out to them, but if they request a hard card, if they go back in, if I don't know if that's what you're asking.
I think she means either a hard card or a paper card, a printed out card.
A printed
Either
out
one.
card, yes, they need to have a photo on there. Otherwise, they will
they
not
can-
print.
Print from their home computer printer.
Yes. So in that flyer that Ryan is putting together, it'll tell you, you can send it out to your parents and it walks through how to upload that picture so they can print it out or take a digital snapshot, you know what I mean, screenshot of it or whatever they do.
Okay.
Yeah, you do not need to purchase a hard card. Just a printed out card on a printer is more than acceptable. As
Okay.
long as you've got a barcode and a photograph. You know, color would be better, but it's, yeah, you don't need to spend the extra money on a hard card.
Okay.
Good question. Okay, well. Thanks again. And we'll sign off and we'll see you next month. So next month, December 8th, 7 p.m. We're going to be doing an officials information session. So if you know anybody interested in becoming an official, Tom, I want you to talk a little bit about that. Kind of what are MNUSAW's kind of expectations and ideals around officials?
Well, if you're registered in USA Wrestling as a wrestling leader, you are at the same category as an official. We are registered as wrestling leaders. There's a little checkbox there for officials, and if you didn't do that when you registered, we can go back in as long as I get a name and a number and check it. But what we're looking for more than anything is officials for the freestyle Greco season, which will be coming up. But the meeting on December 8th will be, if you want to get registered for the State High School League, if you want to do some folk style officiating for MNUSA Wrestling, I'll talk you through that process. It's sometimes kind of daunting simply because of the contact with kids. There's a few hoops to jump through, and it gets confusing sometimes. So what I'm going to do is walk through that, show where you can get resources as far as the rules and videos and stuff like that to help you learn the rules, and then answer any questions. It's not something that we can get completely done in an hour, but if people are interested, I've over the phone walked them through many of the steps of that. So mostly just information and where to find information. So that's all I got.
Awesome. So share that with anybody you think that would be interested. That would be appreciated, and we'll get it up as soon as we get a little closer. So thanks again. We appreciate your support and your membership with Minnesota USA Wrestling. Have a good night and happy Thanksgiving.